Hello, welcome to another Minecraft Let's Play. This is Painful Fodder, and we are going to find out what to do with the dungeon today. Had a friend on, he found a dungeon, happened to be a skeleton dungeon, so I thought, hey, let's build a dungeon grinder on that, because you can get lots of arrows from that. So, I've sped up some of this video, otherwise it would have been about an hour long. This is going to be a longer one. First, you have to have a 2 above and 2 below for this design. So I'm speeding up, digging out the floor, so we got 2 below. You'll have to do this on every dungeon. Usually above is fine, but in this case I needed to dig down 2 for the from the little cage there. So that's what you're seeing now. I did play this and then I'm recording after the fact because I had to remember how to do this. It's been a little bit since I've done that. And as you can see, we're actually 3 above, so I'm going to build a 1 down on the ceiling. So we have 4 on all sides, 2 above, 2 below. So you need 4 rows from all sides of it, and that will get you started. Now you want to make sure you light up the walls, and you don't have to light every side of the cage. You just want to make sure there's no dark areas in the room, or you will be fighting skeletons when you do this. Now the next thing you got to do, and this is where you see me going around and going back and forth, is you have to figure out which direction you want to push the skeletons. So in other words, where do you want your collection, when they fall down and die, or they fall down so you can kill them, where do you want that to be? Right now, I still needed to dig 2 from this side, so I have the 4 on that side as well. And that's what you're seeing right now. And I ran into a mine shaft, so I had to wall in that. So really this is just getting the 4x4 on all sides, 4 empty rows on each side. That's why I sped that up, to save some time. But you need to find out where you want these things to be falling. So that's the tunnel we came into. So I kind of want it to go in that direction. So right below it, down the middle of this whole thing, you want to build a channel. And you're going to put water on one end, and this is going to push the skeletons in that direction. Now, I did bring a bunch of water buckets. I did have a full inventory, so this, trying to figure out where I want things, and it's kind of difficult. But anyway, you're going to put water down and see how far it flows. And on the last block of water, you're going to dig down one and then go even farther. And that's what you're going to see here is I'm going to be digging that channel until I run out of water flowing. Now the last block with water is going to be where we're going to want the zombies to go up. Now as you can see, this worked out perfectly. I ended up right in the hall where we're coming from, so it should be an easy collection. That block with the last block with the water is where we want to go up, so I'm going to have to dig up to kind of mark that. And that's where the zombies are, or not zombies, but the skeletons are going to go up. Where I'm standing right there, I'm going to be walling that in. And one thing that I found is in this design, skeletons won't jump into water in the 1.8 release like they did in some of the other ones. Sometimes they do, but a lot of time they don't, so they just kind of stack up there. So what I did is I'm going to put a stair there, because the water will push them up the stairs, which puts their head in water, which you'll see in a little bit, and that makes them go up a lot cleaner. So you'll see that in a minute. Right now what you have to do, and again, this is the mine shaft that we have to deal with. I would say perpendicular to that trench that we dug, we have to have a section for water to push the zombie or the skeletons from the outside where they're going to spawn into the trench to get pushed down to where we want them to be. So what I'm doing right now is I have to fill all this in because I just need a 1 block high section here to put the water that will push to the side. Now water goes 8 blocks, so I need the 4 from the cage that we opened up for the full room. You need another 4 to put water in that will push all of the skeletons towards the center, and you need to do that on both sides. And you will see how I'm doing that, but this is the harder side. So right now I'm just digging out. This would be 4 blocks from the wall. And then I'm just filling in the roof right now because you don't want anything spawning in here. It's just wasted spawn, and you can only have so many mobs spawning so in a certain area, so you just want to make sure nothing can spawn in here because it's going to be really dark. And then you fill in this so that you have a nice even floor. And those 2 blocks I dug out are very important for this. That's where you're going to stand, which will let you see in there to put the water. And it also keeps the water from flowing beyond the wall until you're ready for it. And you'll see that in a minute as well. Right now I'm going to place some water. You want to put them at the corner and then every other block, because that will, you can put them every block if you want. But what that does is, it's kind of overkill. If you do it every other block, they will join and create full water sources next to each other. As you've seen when I create infinite water sources, which we're going to do one here in a minute. See, that was too far away, so I have to put one in the middle to make sure it flows straight. These have to flow straight out. If they don't, then they're not going to push them in the right direction. They're not going to go as far as they need to go. They have to go the full 8 blocks to push them into that channel. Otherwise, it's not going to be as efficient as it could be. So that's why it takes so much water. I'm going to put one here to fix that and make sure that they all go straight. Then you get out of those holes and you kind of look at it. Right now I think I'm going to be looking at an infinite water source, and as you can kind of see, I'm jumping around a little bit trying to figure out what I'm going to do because I need an infinite water source. I'm going to need a lot more water. So that's what we're going to build here, is a little infinite water source. You need 2 water to do that, so that's what we're doing. And then we're going to fill up our buckets again. The easy way to do that is get them all together, and just when you fill it up, and you got to make sure you have inventory space, otherwise you throw them away like that. So we're going to throw away some stuff that we had picked up along the way, just so we can have space for that. We don't need all this wood for what we're building. We're going to go ahead and basically 3 from the edges is where you want to put those holes. That'll give you room to get in there, and you can reach everything. You want to dig 4 blocks, that whole wall. This is easier to see here because I'm not running into any open space. So you just 4 blocks deep all for that whole wall. And now you can place your water in there and get that going as well. And if you notice, the water isn't going beyond where these holes that I'm standing in are. That's just the way Minecraft kind of works. We will fix that here in just a second. What you do is you fill in the hole with brick, and then that will let some of it go, and then you put a brick in the at the end of the water that isn't going all the way. You'll see this in a minute, so if you're confused, and that will when you break that block away, it will reset the water and it will go all the way to the trench. So that's just what's going to be happening here shortly. Right now we're just trying to get all of this water to flow. So it looks like over there you can see that we need one extra block there, or one extra water, because it's not all flowing. There's a little dip in it. This side looks good. It looks, straight. That side over there right there is an empty. We need to fill in so that all is running straight. It can't be going at an angle like that. It has to be going straight or it's just not going to work. So you put a water source down and now it's going straight, so it's perfect. So far we're doing good. We're going to put our water source in the middle again, just so we remember to do that. And that's going to go down. We don't need to fix the water to push everything to the center yet, because we still need to walk in there and we got to get rid of those torches, and it's just easier to do when you don't have water covering all the floor pushing you in a direction. So we don't want to fix that just yet. Right now, I'm trying to clean up some inventory, get some stuff set up right, because I need to put a wall here. I need to put stairs at the end, which is what I'm going to be doing next, I believe. And now we're ready to put our signs up that will keep the water from flowing backwards. So we're going to take that headroom to make sure the skeletons can go up those stairs easily without getting caught on anything. And now we need a sign there, because our water source is going to go right next to that. And we need a sign right on the block below that right there. That will keep the water from flowing down onto the stairs, so that they can walk, skeletons can walk up those stairs, and then their head will be in water and they start jumping because their head's in the water. So what I do is, you can do it every other one. I've seen some people do signs every like 6 blocks so they won't drown. What I like to do is 2 blocks. For one, it's easier to count, so you know how far up you're going to go. And I do a source block every block. So I do 2, then a sign, and then I do a source block, which you'll see here. And then I dig up some more, as far as I can. And it looks like we just ran into another mine shaft. So we're going to have to wall that in. But first we're going to put in our sign there. And we're going to get our torch back. And while we're still doing that, we're going to have to put down another water block. And then we have 2 more water sources that we'll have to do. But I believe, I have to get more in my hotbar. It's kind of hard to do bobbing up and down. So typically you'll probably go down to the bottom while you're messing with that. But this kind of worked out because 2 water blocks keeps me in my pattern, and next one would be a sign, so I can just get up here. And there's a skeleton here, so we're going to have to deal with him. I try to get a little fancy and shoot him through that hole, and it keeps sticking on the thing, but it doesn't matter. One more shot and we got him. So we're going to go get that arrow. And now we're going to wall all this off, because we don't want to deal with any more mobs while we're building this. We just need to keep this up shaft going straight up. So we're going to go back into there, and now we're up and put in the last 2 blocks, and now nobody can get to us. It's dark. We get our torch so we can see what we're doing, and we put in our sign, making sure that I have 2 water blocks to keep my pattern going. And now 2 more water buckets, and I believe I'm out of water buckets, so we're going to go get some more. And I think I sped this up a little bit, or I know I cut some of it out. like I said, this was about an hour, and I got it down to just over 30 minutes. So I had to cut some of the, you know, running to get water or some of that stuff, but I didn't want to cut out too much because I wanted to. And what I see in there is one of my buckets is actually in the water. So it's quicker if you have an even number, since I'm doing it by twos. So I wanted to get that back. That's what you saw there. So now I'm back to 8 buckets. And now I'm getting them filled up. Going back into the shaft to go up. And up we go. And there's my torch. So we're going to have to dig up. And you want to go, if you want to get an XP farm, they can drop around 21 to 20, I'm not sure of the exact number, but I'd say 21 to 24, and then adjust it from there. You might want to have them go down like the 24, and if they all die, then you want to, you know, go up a block or two until they start living, because you want to do 1 hits on those so you get your XP very fast. This one is more to just get stuff, and so I'm going to go up a little higher than that. I think I went up, I don't know, it's like 26, I think. And so most of them die. If they're wearing armor, they'll actually survive, but we'll know that here in a minute. Again, sign. Couple waters. I have to redo my inventory to get more water. Get rid of that so I can do 4s. Go back up to the top because I just sunk down while I was doing that. That's why this takes a while. And place my 2 waters. Place my sign. Now if I wanted to, I could have got that gold and then replaced it with other block, but I don't really need it right now, and I just wanted to get this built, and it was already going to take a lot of time. So what I do is I just put the torch as far up as I can get it, and then build up to it, replace them with a, you know, dig out some more and keep going like that. So same pattern. 2 waters, sign, 2 waters, 2 sign. I was not keeping count. Usually I try to keep count, but in this case I did not. So what I'm going to do now is count on my way up. And because I do it 2 and a sign, every time I hit a sign, I know that's 3 blocks. So you can kind of watch the water bubbles, and that kind of tells you where you're at. And then what I like to do, I think I can do it here, is I put where I'm at. So I'm at 21 blocks. So if I wanted to keep them alive, I could probably do like 1 more water, because you got to end on a water. But in this case, I'm not looking to keep them alive. So I'm going to go up at least 2 more blocks. And I think I even go farther than that. So let's get our torch up there. Let's get this torch back, and now let's place some more water. And then we'll put in a sign, and from now on I put where we're at. So this is block 24. So we're going to dig up some more. And we're getting towards the end here. I'm not going to go up much farther than that, but we do need to see what we're doing. So let's get a torch up there. I believe I placed 2 more waters, and that will be the top. Now the top water is actually going to be your channel to push them in the direction you want them to go. Now I wasn't keeping track of direction that I wanted them to go. Usually I don't. I just build my shaft up. Then I do what you're going to see here is go down and figure out, okay, which direction do I want the down shaft to be that they're going to fall? What would be the most convenient? And for me, I dug that out, and I knew the water wasn't going to fall. so I can kind of see what's over here. And this is the entry path to it. So I'm thinking I want to go that way. I want to, go to the side instead of ending up falling into my aisle there that I would have to then make a detour around. And I'm just kind of verifying where I want that to be. This is the entrance, getting my bearings. So I'm not sure why I'm filling up buckets. I don't really need that much. In fact, I don't need any more water, I don't believe. But I did do that. So what I want to do is go to my right as I'm facing right now. And so I'm going to fill this back up, put my stairs back in, and I'm going to face in the direction I want it to go when I go back up, so that I won't get confused as I go up. So you face the direction you want to go. Make sure that's the direction you want to go, and then hit your space bar to go up. And when you get to the top, you know the direction to start digging, as you will see here in a minute. So I'm at the top. I'm going to dig in that direction because I haven't turned. I know this is the way I want to go. And you want to dig the water, and I have a little extra room just so nobody gets stuck on anything. You go over 2 that you will not dig down, and then you dig one more, and that will be where they fall right there. So you want 2 that they will be able to walk on, and then 1 goes down. You're going to put a sign right here that will keep the water from falling down this hole, because you want them to fall. You don't want them to gracefully float down, which they wouldn't. They would just try to swim there. And what I'm doing now is I haven't dug out the bottom of where they're going to be. So if I dug straight down, I'd have to count the blocks and hope I didn't miscount. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to stand right here, and the water keeps pushing me up the stairs, but I'm going to dig out so I know when I hit that opening there, then that is going to be the end. So now when I dig straight down, which is kind of dangerous to do, and fill in those holes, I know I've reached the bottom. And the reason that I knew where to dig to is because I knew there was 2 that they'd walk on, so I had to go 3 blocks over. So now I'm ready to dig down. Now if there's lava below me, I'm going to take a lot of damage and probably die here. I take the torch so that I don't have to come back up and get it, because if I come back up, the only way down is to fall, and it would probably kill me as well. So once I see light, I know I'm at the end. And there's my entry hallway, and there is the shaft. Now I have to figure out, they're going to land on something. They can only be 1 block opening. Otherwise, the skeletons can walk out if they do survive, and those wearing armor will survive. So that's what I'm doing now, is figuring out how I want this to look. And so I'm going to put, I believe, we're going to open up probably both sides of this as soon as I figure out that's what I want to do. And I'm going to put in a, well, I just covered up the hole, so that was a bad move, so we're going to have to undo that. So that's the hole they're going to fall. This is, I'm trying to make sure that we only have the 1 block opening, and then we can open up all sides of that. They're going to fall down, and we can hit their legs, but they can't get out or attack us unless we get right up on them. So that's what I'm trying to do now, is figure out how that looks, and that block didn't need to be there. Basically that side's fine, but I've confused myself, and that lava doesn't help me out much. So we're going to spend a little time playing with that. I put the wrong thing there. So we're going to speed this up because really it's just me confusing myself and figuring out what I want to do. I thought the water would put something in there, and it's like, I'll just go the other way. So now the skeletons are going to go along there, and so I can't wall that up. If I do, I break it. So I'm going to have to basically put a little stair over this, dig out so I can get to my water source and my crafting table, and I put a little chest there, and plus to finish off the dungeon when I'm all done, I have to get rid of all those torches, and I have to fix these water blocks, which it looks like I'm going to do now. And what you're going to see here is me forgetting that I still have those holes below the water. So this isn't really going to work. And you'll see what happens with those holes. I can fix everything up to the hole, but the holes keep it from actually letting it expand. And so I still haven't figured out that those holes are still there, and just now I figured it out. So I fill in the hole, I fill in this hole, and now you can see that we can put in a block there, and it just let all of that water flow. There's a little fix here I do. I just put a block on that empty spot right there, or anything really. And when I get that, it flows into the little channel there, and do the same over here. Put a block there, and there'll be one more beside that to fix that ending one. And here we go. We did that, and now this whole side is done. Come on, dig it away. There you go. Okay, it's great talking to yourself in third person. Okay, now on this side, I need to fill in those holes, and I want to fix these, but I also need to get rid of the torches. So what I decided I was going to do is go ahead and put those blocks down so that I can keep the water from flowing. And this one, I really not sure why I did this, but that would have fixed itself eventually anyway. But now I'm going to get rid of all the torches. I'm going to do these first, which I probably should have done before fixing the water, but the first time I did this, I did all the water and then tried to get the torches, and that was a lot of this. The water kept pushing me in a direction I didn't want to go, and it was really slow. And when you get rid of enough torches, things start spawning, and you have to fight those as well as trying to get the torches, because you don't want any light in here. If you have it completely dark, then you get lots of skeletons or whatever is going to spawn, and it's really a good thing for XP or loot. In this case I was going for arrows, so the loot is great. So now I'm done with that side of it, so I get rid of those blocks, get rid of those blocks, and get rid of that. And as you can see, it's fixing the water, and there's the first skeleton. This is what you end up with. Now they're not doing a lot of damage. I have armor. I would hope you have a lot of armor before trying this, at least iron if nothing else. But I did forget a torch, and that's going to affect the efficiency, so I have to fix it. So I go ahead and put down a couple blocks to block the water, try to get to that edge, and of course skeletons are starting to spawn, so I have to kind of deal with them while I'm trying to get that torch. And I'm just trying to keep him in the shaft so I can get that last torch, and then I get out. Get rid of those, which will keep pushing that skeleton into the shaft, which goes down to the end, which forces them up. And so right now everything is working right now. I could just go to the end and be picking up stuff, and as you can see right now I have 61 arrows. We'll remember that, so you can kind of see efficiency from now on. Again, there it is on the right side. The only arrows I have is 61. And now I'm just picking up some stuff, and I cut away where I did some more stuff. And as you can see, it's working. Skeletons are falling. They're falling where I wanted them to. Because I have only the feet open, they can't get me. And the ones that are surviving are basically the ones that have armor, and occasionally one without armor will survive. So if I wanted all of them to survive, I'd probably just go up or put one more block on top of the landing platform, or I could go up to the top and dig the top channel up there, down one, and that would do it. But as you see, I just hit him 4 times with a piece of stone, and that's all it took to kill him. If I had a sword, it would take 1 hit. Even a stone sword, I would probably not waste a diamond sword or something on this, because you hit them with a bone that they're dropping and still kill them in like 1 hit if they don't have armor, if they happen to survive. So right now this is working, and looked like something got stuck up in there. That doesn't usually happen, but it went away, and they are falling. And I have I keep hearing them drop, and I want to go get everything. If you kill them, you can get some extra stuff, like if you wanted gold armor, I could have got a helmet there. But now we're going to go back. You can see I wasn't there that long. I would say maybe 5 minutes or so. And that's how you build a dungeon grinder. It works with all grinder types except for spiders. They need 4 block by 4 or 2 by 2 block to go up. I have not built one of those, but I love the skeletons. Anyway, there you go. I have 64 where the 61 arrows were, and to the left on the middle row, I have 21 arrows. So I made 24 arrows in about 5 minutes. As you can see, if you just sat there close, you could walk away and it would just keep on giving you arrows. So that's how you build a grinder. This is Painful Fodder. Thank you for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe. Talk to you later. Bye.